You and I are both immortals. Selfish interests are all the same. I understand this point very well. But we still have some work here. Can't escape. You mean lost. I will give you 3 years. 3 years later the Lord came to meet you personally. If you need anything, the Lord can help you. The most likely thing to hear this is to fall into a trap. The current situation is dangerous. If a strong assistant appears at this time, it's no different than socks. The cake fell from the sky. Think about it, he finally responded. If so, we can consider. Look at his reluctant expression. I can't help but stare. My mom is pretending, okay? It looks like he is suffering somehow. Face down like that. Fortunately for him, his character is not the same as before. Not compared to why. When he thought about it, he laughed. I like your greed. The more powerful you are, the more greedy you are. What you said before. As if to welcome you in. Volunteering for you does not count as a condition. Now you leave the conditions. Unconsciously raise your eyebrows. I think the most likely is to laugh softly at the conditions we offer. Don't you already know? Glancing at why. The evil king suddenly laughed. First aid cure. Sure. With your sinister and cruel. For the holy kingdom of heaven. I know you are a wicked man. I didn't know you were a saint. There's something I want. You will not bring this disease into your life. I don't want to destroy you. I don't want to cancel the whole thing. Probably the most. I heard the warning in his words. The main rule is that you are not allowed to move. Previously, everyone wanted that. I didn't hesitate to nod. I know this better than you only this time. Not later. Then good to take it. Just finished my words. The moon throws an object in the strongest direction. Take that thing in your hand. Open to the most sure look, the most exhilarating voice. 9 products Lindon. No, you have eyes. The Lord did not choose the wrong person. A little bit of a nod, the evil king said casually. This healing can heal the hurt. Soul strengthens the spirit. Stop the original spirit from dissipating. Even the devil only has this one. Now give it to you. It seems to show the will of God. I hope you can give it to me later. I do not care about today's action. The evil king of the moon shook himself. Disappeared in the forest alone. Probably the most stupid look at the medicine in hand. There's a ray of hope in my eyes. Take a deep breath. The most powerful one is a tightly knit hand. He then headed towards the residence of the dragon flower, and ran away. Go straight to the room of the city. Finally excitedly called out to B. How did you find a way to save the baby? It seems as if it was premeditated. Look at the most breathless running back. I can't help but laugh. Take a look at her. Most likely, you say. You already know that the evil moon will come to find me. Right. Who is the moon? In the eyes unconsciously trembling, they tend to look suspicious or suspicious. Look at her suspicious expression. It's obviously not fake. Maybe you really don't know. It's a little weird to think about. He said that the moon is the master of magic. Why don't you know him? How do you know for sure? We can quickly find a way to save the child. Someone said for me. There's something I can't tell you. Don't ask either. To smile and say. But now, the best thing to do is to finally stop the child being saved. Everything else doesn't matter, not why. I looked at her probing. Probably the most thoughtful a little bit. Finally, nod your head and you're right. Just stop being saved. Even if Lao Tzu had to sign a contract to sell himself, it's no big deal. Not without laughing. Most likely, he hurried to the side. Stop incense, take her up and take her back again. Then give her a bite to eat. Just for a moment, every ripple swayed by the snowman. Stop the spirit around. There is also a strong focus on her. To recreate the soul. See this scene. Most likely the world finally sighed a little. His face showed joy. But there's no discovery. Right at the moment because he saved the incense. But the heart is filled with joy. On the one hand, he turned his eyes to a distant place. Body filled with the TIA of attachment. The smell has finally recovered. Why very fast? You can get out of a state of despair. Then she is safe to leave. Her heart has nothing to worry about. The most important thing right now, I am still in the joy of saving my life. They also don't pay attention to the city. She doesn't know the pain in her heart. Most probably right now, turn towards the city. But a glance is not for her. Inclination. Let someone tell the family to stop. I see she's about to wake up. I'm sure she wants to see her family. She opened her mouth laughing. He said, "Let me tell you the news." You think very carefully. The irony of this word is clear. Most unfortunate of all this time. He's in a state of decompression. He's about to wake up. Dominic didn't hear a bit of what she meant. He kept nodding, not looking at her. To be silent for an hour. Get your feet out. You are chosen by her. It's because she works hours. This can only be endured. I can't express it to anyone. Not long after, the people of Ra also have the sky. There was enough in the room of the city. Look at the situation is turning well of the incense. The prophet could not help but speak excitedly. The child is saved. Thank God this time is happy to cry. Sobbing up your voice. Stop, children. Probably the most fun side. Stand there and look at everyone, but right now. Go back to the wall in front of you. On a face full of misery. The butler, can we talk somewhere else? The most astounding of all is looking at the person in front of you. Family of stopping children. Slowly nod your head. The worst of all, get out of the room. The same weather. Except 368 prayer let go. But you two just walked out of the room. The sky suddenly rotates. Kneel down in front of the worst. The butler begged him to let go. 7 cannot help but shake. Probably the strangest looking at him. Doubt or ask the old man what this is. Let's continue to ponder a battle. Crying for the butler. You are a hero and a hero. I know we are small. The power struggles of the big guys. You and the old man know very well. This time, thanks to the butler's help, to turn the danger into N. But the tiger was not content. Stop putting your child in danger. Please let go. His word is to say, stopping incense in danger. It's the most complicated. But he seems to have forgotten. If you like to stop, follow them. I'm afraid my whole life, she never see the worst of all. Not to mention themselves. Who agreed to stop the incense into a dangerous place of struggle, like King's son. She is not capable of protecting her. I have no right to blame the worst. It is because she is the most sure-footed. Ignore your own danger. Even she's not conscious. You have to protect yourself. No one has an obligation to ensure her safety. Or in other words, today's tragedy happened. It's mostly because she doesn't have her own energy into a dangerous place. The rest, it's because the family didn't teach her. Let her get her head in the air. Getting to this country, the one they should blame is their entire body. I have no right to blame others. But most probably the world really thinks. Stop running into trouble. That's why he went crazy in King's son. Snow's words are clear. They don't want to be involved. Stupid for a long time without speaking. For so long he couldn't let go. Stop the baby and wake up. Right now. The snow of the sky suddenly screamed. Most likely, it has been amazing for a long time. There is no continuation of the topic. Rush into the room. The snow is fixed to look at the silence. Sitting on the bed, glad to stop crying. But right now, the snow stopped burning. Look at everyone excited in the room. Your face is suspicious of who you are. Hey, who is this? Unconscious fear of everyone in your heart. All sutras in the heart rise up urgently. Stop, children. Why? Most people know how to worry in their heart. They rushed to explain. You don't have to hurry. The spirit of stop hurt. Now live like a newborn baby. Forgetting a little bit is normal. But the spirit is the same as before. Then she's still the same as before. There won't be any changes. Hear this word. Don't worry, everyone, just nod your head. That's what Ra is. The sky is also breathing. Exchange with a simple girl like her. It's not necessarily a good thing. This is the time for those of you. It's good to be alive. It doesn't matter anymore. I am the father of snow. Long only excitedly said. Stop, I'm your grandfather. The snow is determined to go to the snowman. Stopped incense. To her hands trembled and she said. Stop, my child is my master. My children are the two CAs of the forest. People are fighting. Chun encroached in front of the incense. 6 chisel receiving body. The sky is finally coming. Smile, the devil said. Stop, high. I don't remember why I was your husband. Words just came out. Everyone was looking at him in unison. There is no reaction either. The man of the house knows. Thank heaven and Yang Min with incense. Stop. The master is also indebted to the sword master. Having them covered is a good thing. So shut up and don't argue. The best part is that the face immediately drops. Cold warning to the sky. If you dare to take the child's mind, occupy her comfort. Be careful when the old man hits you. Thank heaven. Blush shamefully bowed his head. When I saw that, I covered my mouth laughing. Thank God there's a bit of a mess. Looking towards the most evil, I want you to lose face in front of me. Even if I don't fight you. Stop fighting a fight with me. Stop listening to his words. Hurry up with your hands and wait. If you don't fight, you have to fight. If only because I laughed at you. Don't he let my stomach go unintentionally. Of course I stopped before. Forget who we are. They care about me so honestly. Take a deep look at her. Thank God for sighing and being happy to say. At this point, I stopped paying attention. Probably the best behind. Turn your eyes towards him. Who are you again? They are all fighting in front of me. Why didn't you say? Everyone looks to the most secure side. Face colors appear complicated rays. Understand the thoughts in people's hearts. I remember thinking about God's grace when I prayed. Most likely, the eyes are a little shaky, smiling for an hour. The bad guy I used to eat who hurt you. What you eat, you hurt me. The snow stopped listening. The body can't help shivering. His face looked panicked. See this scene. The most obvious is a soft voice. What bad people do for so many reasons. The little girl will see me later. You have to stay away. I think the most likely thing is to suddenly turn around and leave. Sigh in my heart for an hour. Goodbye to stop children. Everyone looked at the shadow of his back. The unfortunate smiler. For them. Only then can the mirror be safe. I can't help but feel appreciation. Most likely, it is a heroic gesture. You can pick it up and put it down. She looked at the body and slowly left. In my heart no reason appears bitter. Then whisper out loud, why look at this bad guy? In my heart I suffer so. Bad people bring suffering to others. I thank God for hugging her in my arms. Softly advise. Promise me to stop thinking about the past. Stop listening and nod your head. The sky also breathed a sigh of relief. This is the best result. Most likely to let go. Even the dead can forget. I can't contact you later. Condensed perfume. It will no longer be the greatest sacrifice of all. Probably walked out of the room. Calmly raise your eyes to the sky. The wind is blowing. At this time, the sky came from behind. Sigh and say thank you. Thank you. Our goals are the same, not so. Most likely there is no turning back. His eyes still looking to the distant land spoke. Just think for a moment. God slowly comes in front of you. The worst of all. Put something in the palm of his other hand. This is paid to you. In the eyes can't hold. Look at the world in your hands. The face is immediately unsightly. 369 cut off the opportunity of the professional competition. Most likely holding the object in the hands slightly trembling. It's a little cold. They want to have a great time with you. His face showed a little reluctance. Thank heavens, Yang said with a sigh. Maybe they say finally. We're not the same kind of people. You are the ruler who wants to conquer the world. We are just ants who want to be born peacefully. We don't want to enter your glorious world. Don't bother either. It's our quiet life. My husband and I have discussed it. Tomorrow we'll lead them into hiding. No more asking about life. The two sons of the sword are no more. You can stop being able to do this. It's really rare. The most aggressive hand clasped indifferently said. I hope you can live quietly. To borrow your luck. I also hope you. One day I can claim the world. Cast the offense chi. The corners of the mouth are a little slimy. Thank heavens, Yang glanced at. Probably the most funny thing to say. We finally embraced. But I can't wait to finish the sentence. Most people have turned their back. Looking at his back, he sighed for a moment. Speak up and say we're doing great. Forever without contact. Probably the most cold. And so the soul of the three. They were born and died in the wild. The paint after today is thrown in the back. If you know you're going to break up, don't get together at first. For now, everyone has a secret pain in their heart. Can't express. From now on the road ahead. I hope they never see each other again. Probably the best after the conversation with the devil. He walked alone to a nearby cliff. Looking at the distant sky. Think back to what happened. At this moment, he comes from behind. He looked at the back of the most powerful man. Thank heaven, Yang, give them back your two rings. Slightly nodding. The best in the world to look at to boats van world. A little bit of pain, so you're right. Unconscious people like me. Not worthy of any woman's love. They don't deserve any brothers. Treat sincerely. Are we going to be alone all our lives? I was so excited to say something. Probably the most. He threw two weapons in his hand. His eyes flashed. Tea is steady starting today. In my eyes there's only this world. As I said, most people don't turn around. Don't you wait to lift your feet. Look at his lonely back. Suddenly, there's a little bit of suffering. You think you just need to save the world. There's a soulmate next door. He won't always be alone. But she didn't expect it. They have the same great meaning. But without the two of them, I'm not alone. She also has a common disorder. There are people of the lost. He is not as alone as he thinks. They just don't want to put them in a position of importance. Just like to people in heaven. Most likely back to Van Long, the home of the tribe. The tide has begun to fall. But everyone from the three families hasn't left yet. Seeing them, the most likely person bowed his head. The owners. There was some work to be done. It's solved now. We can talk about it. Most likely, it has returned to its original state. The army can't help but speak up. There is still a way. But I don't know what tricks she used to get him excited again. It doesn't matter. He is now the key to your struggle. The current power. If only he could shock the spirit. You don't have to pay attention anyway. I often see him coming back. Hurry up and ask Han. You have worried me to death these days. It's over. Probably the best laugh for an hour. Towards the heads of the three great families. Seriously speaking up, you know what you're worried about. Yesterday we declared war on the Emperor. It's just an act that spoils the world, isn't it? But now I want to tell you. We can only immediately tear our faces to the ground. Opposing them, then our path can go further. This word just came out. Everyone fell into a stupor and didn't understand. It's not about being safe. After the war, we can go further. They can't see through their minds a bit. They seem to understand their thoughts. Probably the most humbling little smile. To speak up and explain, there is so much in the world. There's nothing that doesn't change. Between war and peace, yin and yang switch in just a moment. War is not safe. Peace is not really about living peacefully. It's all about the big picture. Since the 100 families of Min, the current situation has changed. Now you can think. What happened to the 100 families of Min? Our enemies have also evolved. We are now at war with the Emperor. Is the best choice. The word just ended. Everyone seems to be transparent. We can't help but look at each other and nod. The army is the leader. Looking towards the worst. The butler does this to create a peak. But where do we get the power to confront the Emperor? Smiling for an hour. Most likely the corners of the mouth with a smile, said the devil. Remember what I said before. In 15. So you can see a whole new world. We don't need 15 anymore. Now we can bring a lost out. Enough to be your rock. Flying in front of you. The Emperor let us control. The military cannot help but squint their eyes. Meaning in his words. It's obviously lost. Could have gone to war with the Emperor alone. No matter how this is possible. Suddenly the army is thinking of something. Face immediately awakened. Not wrong. The current SA has a strong shield. People, even the master of the wind god has pulled in. What's impossible? Think about it, the army is no longer concerned. Laughing with a respectful voice, saying ha ha ha. If the butler holds the victory in his hands, then we're also going to be fully prepared. Coordinate the actions of the butler track. Previously, the butler in anger has acted furiously. Unexpected in that situation, the butler still thinks deeply. It really makes people admire. Most likely, he hurriedly bowed his head modestly. No one is too proud of him. It was the end of everything. There's finally a direction. Smiling softly, the army is heading towards the most certain direction. We have to go back. End words. He led the people of the three great families away. Wait until there's only one left in the field. The lost sea is coming now. A little urgency to speak up. Father Dai Ca. I declared war on the Emperor yesterday because I spoke. At that time, I'm just angry. They set a trap for you. I didn't know there was so much in here. Ha ha ha. If you knew that, you could be the owner now. unconsciously laughing and shaking his head. Finally, seriously, the worst of all is towards the lost Van Hai. Sincerely say, and Hai Day often submits to follow the lonely battle sky. Training for a long time. The military operation was also subdued. But this can only make you a genius. I can take on the responsibility of a family. To become a true superior. 3 years later, according to the law, he must leave. So, if we don't foster the sea peanuts quickly now, wait until he leaves. 2 billion of these. How can we stop these evil killers? He thought, and his face was immediately serious. Towards the Sea of Dung said, now at this time, I am the UC itself. The King's Strategy. Yin-Yang Worldview Department of Chi France. 370th House of Representatives. The 3 great families left the place of the tribe and split up. Take your own people away. In addition to 3 owners, the old man can understand the meaning of the most evil. The rest of you are confused. What were their parents saying earlier? I don't understand why. Long March Van follow behind Long Dat Phi. Do not doubt or ask. Long Dat Phi laughed mystically. Proud to raise your head. This is a big bad boy. If you can see out, you can be the owner now. Long March Van heard immediately stunned. The fear in my eyes grew stronger. The education here is so deep. That said, he must have seen it from the beginning. We are enlightened under his prompting. Yes, it must really be a miracle.